a welcome to the SS Clearbound. Don't judge it because, well, don't judge its name because I didn't make its name. Well, I'm not the creator of it. Don't know why I'm even speaking. But yeah, it's a bit dark, so let's try to just go on the helm and trying to figure out how to turn on the lights. Oh, it's a bit of an interesting configuration. Oh. Come on, boop. Yay. Kitchen. Lifeboats. Excuse lifeboats. More ladders. Oh. Oh, it's an open helm. Lights. Hi. Are the pumps working? Right. And we are good to go now. Oh no, the lifeboats fell off. What? That didn't go as expected. Right, I'm gonna try to reload it. Hopefully it'll work again. Nice. They fell off again. Oh well. Why? Stop. I don't know why they fall off, but they do. Oh. Why do the lights do that? Stop it. It's dark. Alright, so we're finally departing without our lifeboats because who needs them anyway? Show controls, horn. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It actually like raises steam. That is the best thing ever. Oh my god, if you don't know, when a ship like say Olympic, when it blows its whistle, it emits steam because that's how it works. It like makes the whistles do whistly things. So hold on, I want to get a better view. Right, let's just pretend it is right. Like it's early morning. Right, hold on. We're not moving, but we want to look. Okay, we have to be moving. Aww. Oh, that's the wrong way. Wait. So we literally give off steam. Oh, it's smoke, but that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry for blowing the horn so much, but it's so cool. Right, so much steam. Oh, that's a fluid connect. Have we got any interiors? Yeah. We have quite a high draft, but I don't really mind because it makes it up by the whistle. There's a video of Olympic arriving in New York in 1934. I believe it's just after the Nantucket Lightship collision. And it's not the easiest to see, but you can see quite a lot of steam coming off its first funnel. Yet again, there's also a video of Olympic arriving in I believe it's the 1921, and it zooms in on the funnels, and it's like there's barely any smoke, but all of a sudden a massive poof of steam comes out, and it's quite loud. It's like Whether the Four Corners. It's like if you go right up to it, it's like that. Yeah, it's loud, but not really. Oh, we've got a single screw. That's adorable. Very interesting shape. Huh. Anyway. Wait, can we reverse? Alright, reversing. Full steam astern, Mr. Gibbs. Hi. That is so cool. Wait, and if I press 2? Hold on, I know it's a bit of an unbearable sound, but Trust me, it'll be over within a sec. Right, see? Weren't so bad after all. Anyway, I'm gonna stop faffing around. And please don't sink dead fast because... Right, quickly, explore. Quick. Right, we're exploring as quick as we can because... Bow. Hi. Okay, empty place. Hi. Cargo holds. Cargo holds. Whee! Bleh. I regret jumping down. What's it? Temp. RPS. What? We're going 5 meters per second. Hi, engine's fine. Move. Right, right. That doesn't go up quite high enough. Cabins. Double bed. Lucky. Double bed, even luckier. Double bed, even luckier. And of course, double bed. So that's it for this bit. Hi. Why do you... Okay, I'll be honest, it's a bit awkward to get around, but... Oh, that looks kind of cool. I was dead confused. It's like, what the hell? But no, I get it. It's like, it looks cool. Oh, so it's like a little bar. Things feel a bit low, and that feels that feels too low, and that feels also too low. Oh, this is the things. There's handles on the side, and it like and it swivels the peeps around. Usually it's with football, and those like the goals. I see. One thing I don't like, windows. They're awkward place, but if you look past that, they look amazing. I also don't like how they're not flush with the outside. There are window pieces that do fit it, the wedge, 1x1 wedge. Yep, we're going down by the head. But it's nothing. We're fine, we're practically unsinkable. What's down here? Accelerate the flooding. What do you mean we're going to accelerate? Oh, who cares that we're going to accelerate? Really? So, there's 2 massive cargo holds. Oh, wait, I want to... Right, we must quickly go back up... we must quickly go back up on deck. Come on. Yes, right. Quickly, open. We must open all the cargo holds. Hi, how do I get up? Don't know, Duca. Right, we are going a bit fast. Uh-oh. Right. Right, we don't have time. We don't have time. I repeat, we don't have time. It's too late. It's too late. But we can still watch it. Wait for it. I wanted to open it fully, but... Yep. Oh, now this is flooding. Right, as soon as those cargo holds go under, the ship just will drop. Trust me. Oh, yes, it's happening! Look! Right, run. Run, I want to go down with this. I refuse to go down with this ship. Hi. Yes, but actually no. No, no, F! F for respects! And to move. Help me! Yes. Freedom. Wow. We just dropped so fast. What's down here? Oh, wow, it's completely flooded. How's in here doing? Not very good. Oh no, there's rooms we didn't see. No, I didn't see this. I didn't know this room existed. Well, since that sank so quick, let's get a rescue mission. Now, a ship nearby, ready to depart, picks up the distress signals. Once everyone's on board, it finally can come to the rescue of the sinking ship. By the way, this has gone back in time a bit when it's first sinking. What one was it? It was 6. No. Finally, the Britannia departs! Smoke flying out of its 2 majestic funnels, the ship powering on to its destination. when it received the CQD and is now coming to the sinking liner the Seaway. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. I can't remember its name. I'll check in a second. So yeah. The Britannia, luxurious fictional Cunard liner, ready to rescue the sinking of the other ship. Now, fortunately, after the war, she gained more lifeboats, and after the Titanic, well, let's just say her decks were full of lifeboats. Ready, her lifeboats can carry about 200 more passengers than her capacity. So, yeah. That's why the stern portion became enclosed to add more lifeboats. Yeah. Anyway, so the Britannia is steaming her fastest, trying to catch up with the poor sinking liner. What a terrible day it is for the poor little liner. Little did they know, a huge ocean liner was coming to the rescue! Meanwhile, unfortunately, it's meant to be foggy, but I don't want to put it up so you can't. So, right. It's meant to be foggy, but I've not enabled it, or else you won't be able to see what's going on. Unfortunately, a ship that was much older and was actually on its second to last voyage was steaming towards where the other ship was. And not even realising that the other ship was sinking, they just carried on. But it unfortunately started to getting a bit concerningly close. Now, it was just overlooked. It's what some people say, but some people say it was an act of deliverance. Nobody knows the truth. It's meant to be a boo-boo, not a thoughtful thing. Anyway, as soon as the ships see each other, they try to turn away from each other, but unfortunately, it would not be any good, as both ships would quickly collide. And unfortunately, they would start to swipe against each other, causing further troubles. Both ships were trying to break free of each other, but they were colliding, and they frantically were beginning to pull each other down. As well, both ships were beginning to sink. The Adriatic's bow completely smashed in. Meanwhile, the other ship is worse. It is much worse, as it was already sinking, but now is taking on even more water. Fortunately, the ships begin to right, but the masts have been caught on each other and are causing severe problems for the ships. They're both tugging towards each other once they both sink. It was reported that they did try to stop, but... Right, ignore that boo-boo in the story real quick. Anyway, both ships were trying their best to stop and reconsider the situation. But unfortunately, it was deemed as a total loss for both ships, as well. They were both beyond repair at this point. Both sinking Right, hold on. Be a sec. Thankfully, the ships were indeed trying their best to come to each other's rescue, but it would be too late. For both ships, they were trying their best, but the stern managed to slip under. Fortunately, lifeboats got off, but the ship had arrived too late after a hectic collision. The other ship was indeed beginning to sink after the collision, but it was worth it. Both ships have sent out a distress signal, and Britannia was coming as fast as they could. But the other ship was trying to steam off after collecting everyone from the lifeboats. They were sinking, but they also were trying to save as many people as they could. Ships now beginning to steam back to port. Lifeboats have been collected, so has the passengers. One ship sank, the other slowly sinking, and Britannia steaming as fast as she could towards the scene. Ships sent distress signals all around. Things were beginning to get a tad chaotic. As the sinking Adriatic was trying to steam back to port, it noticed its arch-enemy company's ship trying to come to the sunken vessel. They tried to get in contact with them and, well, let's just say, they really tried. They even went to the conclusion of try to ram the ship to get its attention, and that's what they went with. They were indeed, it was confirmed in the inquiries that the ship did try to ram the Britannia. By the way, if I haven't already said, this is all completely fictional. Lois, what are you doing, you weirdo? Aww, what? Has your nest been destroyed? My cat likes to sit in weird... It's like blankets but shaped in a nest kind of thing. Right, that'll do. It's not a very good nest, but yeah, it's... as long as there's a blanket, it satisfies you. Hold on, what is that? This is a quick break from the story. In fact, I'll pull us back in. Once we're at the Britannia. Unfortunately for the Adriatic though, by the time they had started to get close to the Britannia, they had begun to capsize and quickly dropped under. It was reported that Britannia was indeed coming to save both ships after all. Suddenly, a loud bang was heard across the Britannia. Whoa! That was awful. The bang noise was unknown, but it sure did cause something odd to happen. The Britannia seemed to be going down by the head. That was impossible. The ship's practically unsinkable. But due to the fog, Britannia didn't see where they were going and was about to collide with the collapsed Adriatic. They didn't even notice anything other than something felt like they were slowing them down. By the time they noticed the ship, they ordered all stop on all engines. And now as the slowly but surely sinking Britannia parked upon the completely capsized Adriatic, it was given the order to look for any survivors. And now it was confirmed by this point that there were in fact no survivors. After checking for any survivors was accounted for, the Adriatic began to start to fall back upright, but it turned ever so vertical, now beginning to slip under the waves. Slowly but surely, it would sink, never to see the surface again. Meanwhile, the bow of the Britannia was now concerningly low to the waterline. In fact, the forecastle was nearly underwater. Interesting. Many passengers were starting to be concerned as water was slowly trickling onto the forecastle deck now. As the Adriatic was slipping under unfortunately for the Britannia, it would begin to flood even faster as a door was left open, gouging in water into the lounge fast. Everyone's now panicking on deck, starting to run around, having no clue what to do, as the ship finally slips under, never to be seen again. Now, the Britannia. Now she's beginning to sink. After stopping, confirming, trying to help, the crew decide to refire their engines, try to beach the ship on the closest island possible. Now this is where the story will get a bit silly. Closest island was the island full of wind turbines, so they had no option other than to beach there. The engines were refired and smoke plumed out of Britannia's funnels. as the Britannia was doing her best to steam on towards the close island. They would not make it, but they would have made an attempt. Cabins inside the Britannia are slowly filling with water. Slowly but surely the ship is sinking. The crew had recalculated and figured out that Komodo Terminal was in fact the closest island, whilst the Wind Turbine Island was the closest beach island. Now Britannia began to make all her efforts to turn, closed her port steam valves, hopefully pushing the ship into the correct direction. The ship was flooding ever faster, as the lounge was more or less underwater, cabins completely filled, windows are beginning to shatter, the ship is beginning to get a minor port list, and finally, Britannia's dining saloon is starting to fill with water. The nearly 3-story high dining saloon slowly becoming filled with the water. Water slowly rising up the portholes. It was lights out for the Britannia as the ship was beginning to sink ever so faster. The booms now on the forecastle were beginning to slip under the sea as the ship was starting to force herself under the water as she was pushing and giving it her all to beach on Komodo Island. Water started to creep into the forward lounge, mainly for crew, but can be used by passengers on small occasions. Now, the forward balcony, usually used for access by crew, but first class tended to walk around since there was not really any restrictions outside, was getting closer to being completely flooded. The water's rising on the outside and the inside of the rooms. Now the ship is getting ever so closer to plunging under the sea below. The boilers on her port side no longer lit, and her starboard side chuffing away, filling the sky with smoke. Many rooms now are flooding ever faster. The purser's office is now beginning to take on water. Water is beginning to leak through the doors. And meanwhile, further aft in the dining saloon, the first floor is nearly entirely underwater and is slowly beginning to leak onto the second floor. Through the promenade, the forward part, which was enclosed, is mostly underwater, and stern was beginning to rise. Propellers are nearly out the water. The ship was trying their best to stop and managed to beach. Crew were making sure everything could be done, but Britannia, only making 4 knots now, is starting to lose hope. But they are not completely giving up. Giving it their all. It's 1919 now. And while Britannia sank in a very similar fate, in fact, there was a person who was on a Lusitania, on the Britannia, and the HMHS Britannic, all whilst they sank. They said after the Britannia sank, they would never trust a ship again, and would always remain back in Britain forever, only transporting via train now, but lived on and had her first flight in 1952. Oh, she was so relieved she could travel without being on these ghastly beasts, which would do nothing but sink over and over. At least that's what her opinion was. She did no longer like ships from any company, for any kind, from any type. She did not want to be on one. Britannia is now in line and refires all her pot boilers, opens all her steam valves, and is making her best attempts to beach. Fortunately, it would partially work out for Britannia. The upper floor of Britannia's dining saloon was quickly filling, the chandelier dangling as the ship was sinking faster and faster. Many rooms becoming submerged, and the boat deck is now beginning to flood. But Britannia is nearly there. So close. The crew are beginning to panic, but the captain still believes and strives on to beach. They really think they can beach the Britannia at this point. Finally, for the Britannia, the orders to abandon ship were indeed given, and the crew were already abandoning. Passengers that were left were screaming and scrambling by the few lifeboats remaining. But fortunately, everybody aboard the Britannia would indeed live, and the Britannia was so close to beaching that the captain did leave the engines running in case they would beach, and just at that moment, the Britannia struck the seafloor. The Great Britannia beached somewhat successfully. Her stern would eventually drop over time, leaving just the wreck peeping above the waterline. After approximately 36 hours after the ship had beached and been evacuated, Britannia began to capsize, slowly rolling onto her starboard side. Her engines were commanded to stop, and were. As the boilers finally die out, the Britannia is no longer able to move. The ship is slowly rolling on further onto its starboard side and beginning to slam into the sea. Many lifeboats have been caught and pulled down with the wreck. Most escaped. The rudder had been ordered to recenter last minute, as the bridge had been overtaken with water. Britannia became a tourist attraction, but this would only last for 14 years after it was bought and sold, making it no longer public, and preserved the wreck for some time longer. As the Britannia began to slip under further and further. Many doors, many rooms, many spaces completely underwater. The stern, just left, hovering on the surface, soon will crash down. The name Britannia on the stern slowly but surely slips under. The rudder completely underwater. The stern flag is now being submerged. More railings slowly slip under as the wreck of the Britannia slips under the water. Once visited by the public, once abused by the public, as Britannia's port propeller touches water for the first time in 18 years. The ship's final air pockets slowly began to implode under pressure, as more areas of the ship would slip under the water. Britannia, the once famous flagship of Cunard Line, the once famous above-water wreck of the island of Komodo, is now the no longer famous wreck near the island. As the ship begins to rest under, the final benches where passengers used to sit have gone under. The last part reportedly by people who saw the wreck slip under say that the port bridge wing on the docking bridge was the last of the beautiful Britannia to finally be submerged following the sinking. Finally, the last parts of the Britannia going down, and then the bridge wing, the last part of this entire ship, lower and lower, descending in the water. And on this day, the RMS Britannia had officially slipped under. Well, how's that for a story? Talk about a billion years record. Hopefully it's a lot less longer for you once I cut it down. So yeah, there's the wreck. Oh, bloody hell, that took about 2 hours of my time. Hope you're happy. Hope it came out well. Goodbye. This episode turned out. According to me, I've been filming for about an hour and a half. Hopefully it looks better for you. Goodbye.